Cancel.
Schweezy.
All right, so I found this BuzzFeed article because I've been thinking about it a lot. And it's something that's I've been thinking about a lot. It's about not having kids. And so, all right, we're in it. This is from BuzzFeed. People who are child-free are sharing their pettiest reasons for not wanting kids, and points were made. Blah, blah, blah. Some of you constantly question if kids are the right choice for me someday, blah, blah, blah. Well, this thread provided me with some humorous, some relatable, and even some petty explanations I couldn't help but share. Okay, so starting off with themselves. I have many reasons that are not petty, of course, but one that fills me with glee is knowing that now that I had my bilateral soppingectomy, my racist narc mother-in-law will never have the grandkids she's so desperate for. That is awesome. Being sterilizing yourself out of spite. That's sterilizing the right word for that? Sterilizing the right? I'm gonna say no, but if it is right, then we can continue with it. Yeah. Best revenge you can give on a parent who like desperately wants a grandchild is to not give them one, because like a lot of times, if they were kind of a dick to you, like if you have a kid, you don't want that child being treated like that, and I think it's good if you're living the mindset of like, I had to do it, so they have to do it too. I'm like, no, we need to make the world, first of all, we need to make the world better. We don't need to keep it the same. We should make the world better for everyone. So stop with that shit. Like that. And yeah. And at some point, do you want your kids around boomers? Like, do you want your kids learning that fucking gross shit that they do? It's like, I prefer people who speak English. Shut up, fuck up. Number 2, I take pride in proving wrong everyone that said I'd change my mind. That is a fun thing. And I was like, you'll change your mind. I mean, my mind is like, I don't think I'm going to change my mind and like, I want to have kids. But there is a good possibility a kid could just show up, So, just show up one day. I'm like, I'll like that kid. But like, I'm not, But yeah, I hate that. I'm like, what point is that to being made? Being like, someday you're gonna change your mind. Like you who say that, like, what's your end game? Like, you're miserable because you're miserable with a kid, and so you want other people to be miserable with a kid. No, we already have too many people exist already, and to force a life into existence is just the darkest shit. Do it to like I want to play grown up. Shut up. Number 3, sleeping in / going to bed late. Yeah, and like all my friends with kids, I'm like, I have problems falling asleep. It's not like, I don't think it's technically insomnia. It's just like getting to sleep is a problem. Like, that's the thing though. But like, eventually I'll pass out. But it's like, you can't just like pass out at 7 a.m. every day, Like, you need to like do shit, And then my friends like with kids are like, yeah, I don't have a sleeping problem. And, and people are like, yeah, you don't really have, you need, if you really want to cure your sleeping problem, have a child. I'm like, I'm not going to have a child just so I can fucking fall asleep. And even then, when you have a child, you're not going to get a lot of sleep anyways. So I don't know what fucking argument you're trying to make here. Okay? Also, I should probably mention, I don't want to be mean to people with kids. Like, if you have a kid, I'm not going to like, I don't want to, that is weird. Just because I don't want kids doesn't mean you shouldn't have kids. But make sure you have kids for the right reason. I'll try to continue saying that so I don't just sound like an asshole. Number 4, I'm not done being a kid myself, making up for lost time during my childhood now. That is something really true. And that's, I think, I always get questions like, why are you such a fucking man-child? People call me like a man-child. And I'm like, well, and I'm always into like retro nostalgia and stuff like that. And I think something I've kind of realized is that like, oh, I want to redo that era of my life, and I think that's like my mindset going into it, and because like, I don't know, I feel like as like a second child, that was like the whole purpose of my existence was to be a toy for my older brother, like for me, I feel like my child, like, it was his childhood and I just had to go along with it. So I think that's me now, is just like, maybe this is a lot of fun. I should do this. Like, maybe I can go to Chuck E. Cheese as an adult and stuff like that. Anyways, though, apparently I have one of those, like, hurt inner childs or something like that. And that's why I'm in therapy. And this is therapy, too. Because therapy, the number 2. Chill like that. Number 5, I hate children's TV shows, loud, high pitch, etc., etc. If something in my home is loud, it better fucking be deathcore. Okay. Someone doesn't shower. I don't know. I don't make fun of people who are really into metal, but I can also tell you that none of them shower. And that's a pretty accurate statement when I say guys who are really into metal music don't shower. And I don't know why that's the case. And, like, they all have different reasonings for it, too. And I just don't get it. But yeah, I heard Bluey's good, and I really want to get into Bluey, but it's kind of the same argument I have with, like, wanting to, like, watching, like, Gilmore Girls or something like that, It's like, as a guy watching that shit by myself, it's just kind of weird, And, you don't want to do that, but, like, my little cousin was over watching Peppa Pig. Hello, I'm Peppa Pig, and I'm George. And, like, I think the whole episode is, like, Peppa was sick, and then the doctor came over, and he was like, I guess you're sick, and the doctor was a bear, which I don't know. Doesn't that feel like going to a veterinarian? Is it a doctor or is it a veterinarian? That's the question I have. But it looked like Peppa had, like, chicken pox, and then they were like, Peppa was like, can I have my friend come over? And the parents were like, sure. And then, like, they had a friend come over. And that was the episode. I'm like, this is like, those are like the dreams you have when you drink cough syrup. Like, it's just, that's what Peppa Pig is. It's just a fucking fever dream. That's all it is. Yeah, I'll have to watch that shit. Not having to answer why even once per day to any fucking one. That is the best part. That is the best thing, just waking up. And you don't really realize you have that freedom until you have to hang out with your friends with kids. And they always seem, they can never just have one. They have to have, like, 5. I never got that. Why does everyone have to have, like, fucking 5 kids? Just have one. Just enjoy one. You can have one. Just, And, and that's why people are like, I'm so stressed out. I'm like, that's why you don't have, like, 5. You just have one, Is one not good enough? You have to have one for each of you, So, yeah, just part of me just feels like it's other people are like, what parents complain about. It's like, it's your own fucking damn fault. You could have pulled out. Number 7, I didn't want to gain weight. I've had body image issues since middle school. 4 years ago, I lost weight and kept it off, and I've been much more confident since. I don't want to lose that. That's true. You ever see, like, the married couple, like, the couple, that got married too young and then had a child immediately, like, after? Like, the only reason they got married is so they could have a kid. And it's like, they couldn't have, like, fucking been married and wait. They had to, like, have a kid immediately. And then, like, the wife, like, she was, she was, like, fairly attractive. And then after one kid, they're like, I don't know, they just make my wiener small, Just like, you really gave up your body, like, for that asshole, that little asshole, 8, sticky fingers. Why are they so fucking sticky? That's true. I always make my friends' kids. If my friends' kids' hands are sticky or whatever, like, you're gonna wash your fucking hands, dude. You're not gonna try to you're not gonna attempt to grab my goddamn face. I hate it when people touch my face. It's like I don't know. I just have, like, I think it's just me, like, traumatized by acne from high school. It's just like, don't touch my face. I don't want to, like, I already touch my face too much, and, like, I don't need anyone else's fucking oily fucking skin on there, 9, I like delicate, pretty things. Children damage delicate, pretty things. Yeah. And I also have a lot of audio equipment, and I don't know. It's like, sometimes it's like, if, like, something that's, like, you use every day and is, like, somewhat kind of important to you, and it, like, breaks or is not working, and it's like, I know it's just an object, but, like, this helped me do, like, the things I love. Like, I have, like, an $800 audio interface, and I always feel like I'm flexing to everyone with their little Scarlett 2i2s or whatever. But like that thing, like incredibly, just like I can't do my life without it. You know, I can't podcast, I can't record music, stuff like that. I was like, that's just like my day to day stuff. I can't work with that. So, and children break that shit, and they're gross. So, all right. I want the option of leaving whenever I need to. I'm happy where I'm at, but I always want to be able to travel or just straight up move without any worrying about a child's schedule. I would van life, but a kid deserves space, and I don't want to be one of those van life influencers who think a curtain is a wall. Yeah, you know, I've been interested in the van life. I watch like Ryan Toomey makes a lot of videos, and this one chick, Roaming Reckless. I'm interested in her shit. Also, I feel bad. Roaming Reckless, I feel it upsets me because she said her dog Blue had cancer, and I'm like, this is sad. I come here to study the human mind and how people operate, and I don't want to hear about a dog dying. Okay, but also, can dogs just not die? Dogs are just. I feel like we should all get a dog, and then like it's gonna be like, when you die, the dog dies with you, you know, kind of thing. And it's not like we kill the dog, but like it's just the same time, you know. But I'm getting ready to die. I'm laying down. The dog just comes up next to me. He's laying down. Old whiskers too, and we just die together. That's what dogs should be. But no, it's not. And also van life, you know. Like like by yourself is fine. Even as a couple, it's fine. I see like couples with like multiple dogs. I'm like, that sounds rough, you know, pun intended. You know, but like having a kid, like you can't do that with a kid. I wouldn't even want to do it with like a partner unless like I could see, you know, like unless it's like a work thing, you know. That's called music. 11, my cat would hate it if she had to share me. And I hear like stories about like people like, oh, you know, we have our beautiful dog or our beautiful cat who's so kind and would do anything. Dude, I saw a video of like a cat saving a baby from like crawling down the stairs and dying, you know? Like I didn't know cats loved people. They do. I think some cats like people, you know. Yeah, it just depends on their personality, you know. If they've lived with a human that's fed them their whole lives, you know, they're good. But if they had to be like one of those outdoor street cats, you know, for a minute, like that's a little anger there, you know. And then like they have kids and like, oh, the kid's allergic to cats. I'm like, we have to give away the cat. We have to put down the cat. I'm like, don't put down the kid, you know. I don't know. I always feel weird with like peanut allergies. Apparently you can prevent that. I always just thought like, oh, you're born with it. Apparently you can prevent peanut allergies. So and shit like that. So yeah. I don't know. Figure it out. I like money, silence, and a tidy house. Man, I wish I could be tidy, but money and silence can be good. The silence part, actually, I don't even like that at all. I always have to have like some sound going on. I'm a perfect roommate, you know. I'm perfect to live with. 13, might be cruel, but every time my sister complains about how rowdy her kids get, I think, never going to be me. Yeah, that's like, what is like the, you know, just like, your dick just goes into itself. I'm like, do not get it. I like to call hanging around my friends' kids birth control. Because it reminds me, I don't want that. Yeah, so when I just heard like a TV turn on. So yeah, if you don't like kids, I don't know. They don't belong in breweries. They also smell worse than dog shit. I've never smelled a bad kid. Like, babies have that distinct baby smell. I think it's just because they're new. They still got that vagina smell on them. Yeah, actually, I've been hearing about a lot of breweries opening up that are actually, like, kid-friendly. I think it's more like a family restaurant type of things, you know? But, like, I think some of them are just breweries, and they're like, kids can come here. You're like, they can't drink. They can come out and hang out. It's more like a family. I guess they're trying to make like a more family place for adults to hang out and kids to hang out. I don't know. It always seems weird to take kids to restaurants. Like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, when you go to a bar, you just want to sit around, hang out. But, like, when you have your kids there, it's like, it's different. But yeah, no. So, I don't know. I don't really get the smell, you know. They like when they are sweaty, they do. But like, yeah. Number 15, to prove my mom wrong from that time when I was 10, she told me after I foolishly told her I didn't want to have children when I grew up, but having children is the most important thing a woman can do with her life. I have done some seriously cool shit with my life then that did not in any way involve having a child. Yeah, I guess, I'm a guy, so it's like not that big of a deal for me. I just be like, don't be like that guy in the Bible, just start jizzing on the floor. But yeah, for women, it's different. And, I think I also have to think about it as me being like, I don't want kids, but, like, I'm always going to have the option to, like, be able to have kids unless I learn I have, like, terrible swimmers or whatever. But, like, women, eventually they're like, oh, you can't have kids anymore. They eventually get to that point. Like, no more eggs, or all the eggs are dead. Or I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't have a woman's body, so, there's only so much I know about another gender's body, And you're like, well, aren't you a genius? I'm like, yeah. All right, number 16. I want to spend my money on my games and books, but not on children's toys and books. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're still fucking buying books. I saw a thing, it was like a kid, like, he's read 1,000 books before kindergarten. I'm like, his parents are not fun because his parents won't get him an iPad. I say iPad, but it could be any similar thing. I think there is a ranking to what kind of tablet you see a kid on, like a new iPad, rich parents, spoiled kid. Old iPad, the parents needed a new iPad, and the parents wanted a new iPad, and they gave the old one to the kid. Sometimes you just get hand-me-downs, And I think those are good things because it's not always like a good iPad, either too, and it could have problems already. So, there's that, and that's just more convenience or what out of anything. There's the kid friendly ones. Those are just like, I don't want to spend a lot of money on this. My kids are irresponsible. And then there's like other ones that are super cheap and they just barely work. It's like, I think this is just for my kid to look at for a couple hours so I can like fucking have my peace. Anyways though, yeah, so parents, get your kids something like an iPad, if you're a good parent. And then what I've learned is if you're a parent, if sometimes you need to punish your kid when they start mouthing off. And if they don't have anything, if they don't have any possessions, then you have nothing to use as punishment. So you give them stuff to take away. That's what my cousin did, buying my little cousin like a Switch Lite. It's funny. Just it was like, yeah, well, because I was like, why don't you get the dockable one? Because they always like to come over and play Mario Kart. And then she was like, well, we reported gets in trouble. I'm sorry, I said his name. But if he gets in trouble, he has to, like, it's usually been no TV or no YouTube or whatever. And then, like, his dad is upset because then he has to watch YouTube on his phone. He can't watch on the TV. So they're like, yeah, now we're just going to take away the Switch. Not having to worry about school districts or being close to schools when moving or relocating. Oh, my God. Like, that is something, like, I've, like, never had to think about, like, for real. It's just like, are the schools in this neighborhood good? Does not fucking matter because I don't have to worry about it. And also, I shouldn't be hanging out of schools anyways unless I'm, like, legitimately working, So, also a good thing. Fashion is my pettiest reason as to why I'm child-free because I love dressing up and doing my makeup. I would hate to give it up due to the lack of time and energy because all of it would go to raising kids. Forget about wearing heels as you can't run to catch your kids in them or you'll snap your ankle. I'm a huge fashionista. I couldn't see myself not being one. I think the big thing, I want to say the fashion you want to live, and wear and stuff like that. I'm going to say that, yeah, that the way you want to dress is not helpful for kids. But, like, yeah, you can still be fashionable and have kids, I'm always snooping around the hot moms, I see what they're wearing. I always see what they're wearing, interesting stuff. So, like, you can be fashion forward, but, like, there's more, like, but then you have to get into, like, mom fashion, and then mom fashion is going to be different from single woman fashion, so good. Unless you're a guy. Fashionista, and then you'd be the gayest man I've ever seen in my life. All right, and we finally made it to the last one. I'm self-centered. I don't like having to live my life around others' needs. Making myself happy is my primary goal in life. I live for me. I view my purpose in this life as being able to cater to my every need. I want to be able to pursue whatever I like, whenever I like, however I like, with no restrictions. To be a parent means you have to be selfless for decades. That sounds like pure hell. I'm not cold or evil, and people have always come to me for advice and support and find me dependable. But if I had to be a parent, I'd resent my kids so much. And no child deserves a parent like that. There we go. And a lot of people, I wish, I really wish I could make every person read that. If someone's like, let's have another child. And I wish I could actually make someone read that statement, and be, just read that statement and be like, is that me or is that not me? If it is you, don't have kids. If it isn't you, then, go raw or whatever. But, yeah, so now I think it's time to answer, what do I like about not having kids, or why I'm choosing to be probably child-free for the most part. I feel like part of me is like saying that there's like the trauma you grew up with, and I think there's part of me saying like, I'm going to prove that I'm going to try to be better than I'm going to show off, like, and I don't know, I feel like I have to like, you shouldn't go into parenting thinking like, I'm going to do better than my parents, and I'm not going to like do this all this bad shit my parents used to do and stuff like that. I'm like, that is not a good way to go into parenting and shit like that. That is not a good way. I don't know. I got a lot of, and it's just weird. Like, I just think about all the stuff I have going on in my life and all the anxiety, stuff like that, therapy and stuff like that. And just like having to have all that shit go on in my life, and then also having to raise a kid, and, the kid getting like partial of like just like the stress and anxiety I'm going through, and then like part of it's gonna have to get taken out on them. I don't know why it would be, and I don't want to do that. And I don't know. And sometimes I wish I wasn't alive. I'm fine, okay, and I just think it's like, and for me, I feel like it's cruel to force someone into existence, and then they grow up and you're like, all right, you had to find a job, and you're like, what if what I enjoy doing doesn't pay me? It's like, well, you're gonna have to work a job that you fucking hate. You're gonna hate your life. You're gonna develop a drinking or drug problem, stuff like that. I'm like, why would I force someone to just like suffer? Existing can just be suffering a lot of times. A lot of times it can be good, but a lot of times it's just straight suffering. And so for me, I just like, when you have bad days or bad, like just a long time, it's just bad. You're like, imagine like, when you're just, you just feel like you're having a bad couple months. Imagine being like, I want to force someone else to do this. Like, I don't know. Don't want to do that. And so, yeah, I guess that's more my reason. It's probably more just like mental health stuff I still have to work through and stuff like that. Am I opposed to like having my own kids? I'm like, I'm not against it. I don't want to like force it to happen. That's just my mindset. I don't think I want to force the kid to happen. And if you have a kid, good for you. And I hope just be a good, just try to be the best parent you can be, and shit like that. And, don't be the crazy sports parent either. That's also a case.
Thank you for watching this clip. Watch it again or watch something else.